Right, today I'm making toad in the hole. Now for this then I would need sausages. Now these are from my local butcher. I don't know if you could see in there, like these are like not crappy ones from the supermarket. They've got like all real meat in, you know, and stuff like that. They're nice, good quality ones. So, sausages. Then the recipe for this is what I'm going to use. It contains eggs, milk and plain flour. Now, so it's quite straightforward to remember. You basically then want to crack your eggs into like a glass, a cup, anything that you can kind of see through. You'll see why in a sec. So, put my eggs in. Let's put them there a sec. And then what you want to do is remember the mark on it there. You want to literally remember where it comes to on whatever container you use.
Yeah?
The amount. Because we're going to put exactly the same amount of flour and the same amount of milk in. So it's equal quantities. So I was like kind of around there. So anyway, so put the eggs in. Next I go with the flour just so I can wash it out with the milk at the end, but there's no order to it, just put it in how you like. Got another one of them. Probably about there. Now, it's not an exact science, but just thereabouts. And then milk. Go just a tad more milk. And then put the milk in. And what you want to do is literally just whisk this, get rid of all the lumps into like a smooth batter. So I'll just do that, and then I'll come back to you in a sec. So I've got the batter. It's nice. I'll show you the consistency in a minute. Now at this point you can pretty much put in it what you want, really. I mean, some people put onions in there, I've heard of, you know, all sorts of flavourings. Personally, I'm just going to go with salt, pepper and some aromat, because I like it's nice Dutch flavouring. I like that. It's very nice, like a savoury flavouring. So you just want some salt, a few turns of pepper, and then some of this. Just like I say, it's just savoury flavouring. It's just whatever. Put what you like in. Some of that in there. Then, so you want to make this kind of, it's not critical, but it's ideal if you can literally whisk up the batter and then leave it to stand, do you know what I mean, for a little while. So I'll make this, and you know, if you can leave it for half an hour, I mean some people leave it overnight, but it's really thin, look, can you see? The consistency is ever so thin, and that's fine. So I'm just going to leave that to stand now, over there out the way, and then we'll turn our attention to the sausages. So now it actually takes around about 25 minutes to cook. So, but obviously all the batter's in there. So you really, if you're using big sausages like this, you want to pre-cook your sausages for 10 or 15 minutes first, or whatever. So I'm just going to put them in the oven for 10 or 15. I have got a couple of smaller ones, but these are only going to want like 5 minutes. So I'm going to cook these for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to chuck them in for 5 minutes, then get them out, and then we'll go from there. Right, so the sausage is nearly done. We've got a couple of minutes left. So what you want to do is get a tray. I mean, you can use the same tray, but basically I'm just using a different one just because.
It's got to be clean.
Yeah, nice and clean, so this don't stick. You see the batter, and then you want to cover the bottom of your tray in oil. You don't want loads of oil in there, you know. Well, you know, just I'd say really just, I don't know what it is in inches, but you know, just a quarter of a centimetre, a couple of millimetres of oil. So you just want some
covering, and then need enough to be able to brush up the sides.
Yeah, I mean it don't make it greasy anyway, because it kind of sits on top of it anyway. So but then when the sausages come out, you basically want to then turn your oven up to full blast and get this oil in there so it's absolutely smoking hot, like a red hot tin, smoking hot oil. So I'm going to get the sausages out in a second. I'll come back to you when I've done all that. Right, so I've got the sausages out. I don't know if I mentioned the sort of sausages they are. These three are what's called Lincolnshire sausages, and these two are Cumberland sausages, and these are pork and honey.
Chipolatas.
Yeah, sausages, chipolatas, whatever you want to say. So that's those. They're out now. So the oven's up to full blast, as hot as it will go, heating up the oil also now. And we're just waiting on that oil to get smoking hot. I'll be back. Right, so this oil's red hot. I've also put it on a hot ring just to make sure. So the tip is, if you brush the sides of the tray,
Tin.
whatever you're using, tin, tray, yeah, whatever, it helps it to slip off, you see, and it won't get stuck. Well, he says, hopefully, anyway. So give that a brush. Then singeing my brush to bits, whatever though. So then we want to go in with the sausages.
Oh, hot oil.
Yep. And then pour on the batter. Then straight into the hot oven. 220 degrees now, the oven. Literally leave that for a good 10 to 15. Don't open the oven. Back up a little bit there, isn't it? So this is my toad in the old look. It's like a Yorkshire pudding basically with sausages in it. And normally sometimes they end up in the middle, enveloped in, but in this particular case they didn't. It's rose to the top, but nevertheless, there you go. Toad in the old.
Yum yum. See ya.
I know.